Hi everybody, it's Michael Buckley and I'm here with my friend Davey Wavey.
Hey guys.
So this is my new YouTube channel, New Michael Buckley, where I'm talking about personal struggles and all that stuff. And I love before we made the video, I was like, is this gonna be funny? I'm like, I don't know, is it gonna be funny?
Yeah, this is very like Oprah realness.
Very Oprah realness. We've known each other for a couple years.
We have.
We always end up talking about what?
Dick. Is that what you're gonna say?
I feel like Davey was definitely one of my first gay friends because I was married and I didn't really have any gay friends. And I remember like the first time we went out to dinner, I remember just all we kind of talked about was dick. And I'm like, oh, it's so nice to have somebody to talk about.
Yeah, and you were like really getting it.
I was really getting
it. Was like you were impressed.
And then now literally like I'm always texting Davey like disgusting things and he's like, wow,
yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, and for you to shock me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think the world would be shocked based on the way I am versus the way you are. I think that they would think that we were different personalities, where if we sat down in real life and said, well, I did this last night, you'd be like, if we had to play which YouTuber did this, people like,
who went to bed at 9 p.m.
and who was doing what I was doing till 4 a.m. and be like, oh, Davey Wavey, oh, Michael Buckley, but no. But you're not very wild. You're kind of wild. You're less wild than we think.
Oh, I am so boring.
I mean, I watched your video, I told you, like, you went to, like, a sex club and you walked around in a towel, and I watched this whole, like, 10-minute video, I'm like, get to the dick. And there was no dick.
There was no dick.
There was no dick.
No, it was a cultural experience.
And every time I used to see you, like, on Grindr, I'd send you my location, be like, hey. I was, like, flirting with you, but I always interact with my friends that way. I feel like it's just saying hello.
It's a good way to keep in touch, yeah, with the Grindr. I appreciate your Grindr stories.
Thank you.
Since I'm not related to you, I do watch them.
Thank you. Yeah. And I also always, like my friends on Tinder. Not that I want to date them, but if I see someone I know, I'm like, oh, I like you. Okay. I like you on Tinder. That's my Tinder etiquette. Look at Davey, he's like, you're not on Tinder.
No, I stick to the Grindr. The Tinder to me, I'm like, you know what, I want to cut to the chase. Yeah, I want something more goal-oriented.
I will go, right, yeah, dick. I will tell you, yes, I've met so many people, Tinder I've met 2 people ever, and they were both like in New York City, and now we're great friends, but it's not like, Tinder is slow. Like, it's just like sit around and like make, I'm like, I'm not here for conversation. What are you interested in?
My boyfriend does the Tinder, and he sets up dates like weeks in advance, and I'm like, if I'm on it, like I want it now.
Right. Do you date as a couple? Do you ever like look together, or do you look separately?
No, and in fact we don't play together either. We haven't done that.
Okay.
I think we will at some point, but right now we play separately, but we talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that's the key in any relationship, is to be open and honest from day one, and so it's not like there's any secrets or behind the scenes. It's like, you know, you do this, I do this, and let's just make sure we're communicating about it.
I'm convinced that a lot of couples that are in close relationships are having just as much sex as Jake and I are having.
You know?
And they're just cheating and they're going behind their back. And, and we just have communication and honesty instead.
It's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see. I mean, Shirley MacLaine did an interview the other day, and she said the secret to her long marriage was being in an open marriage, and like she didn't ask him any questions. And so, anyway, but we are talking about struggles on this channel. I've been kind of documenting like my real life, what I've been going through, and I just wanted to ask like some of my YouTube friends, like, what in life have been your biggest obstacles, your biggest challenges? Like, what was a struggling point in your life, and how did you overcome it? Like, when do you think back of the many years you've been alive, the semi many, not as many years as I've been alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And counting.
Yeah.
Well, there was once this 10-inch dick, and I had no just Vaseline.
That should be the title of this video. Well, that 10-inch dick with Davey Wavey.
With no lube.
Oh God, no, this is like my mental health channel. My father, don't watch this video, Daddy. Yeah.
Well, you know what? A lot of people are surprised to know is that I grew up overweight, like really, really overweight, and I think because they look at me kind of now and say that I don't realize what that struggle was, but. There were several years growing up where between being gay, being feminine, and being overweight, it's kind of like you become a really, really easy target. And while like I'm sure there's a lot of people that had a lot worse experiences growing up, it was hard. Kids are really mean. And adults are too.
What troubled you the most at that age? Did it bother you the most that you were gay, that you were feminine, or that you were... What hurt the most? Oh, you're fat, or oh, you're a fat... Like, what hurt you the most?
Probably gay. Yeah. Being gay. I hated that I was gay. Yeah. And it's funny because now I love it. Now I think it's like the best gift that I've ever received.
Yeah. Right. Wouldn't change a thing. Right.
At the time, if there was a button I could press, I'd be like, boop, straight.
What age did you hate being gay the most? Like, what ages?
Last summer when I was in P-Town, I would say probably when I had a girlfriend when I was 16.
Wow.
Sally. They called her, I'm sure she's a big fan.
Are you friends on her with Facebook?
7-month Sally. And I went out with her for 7 months and I never even kissed her. And
at 16?
I finally came out to her, and she was like, "Oh my god, I thought it was because I was like unattractive." Like she thought it was her. Of course, it was me being, you know, self-loathing and all that.
So when you said you hated being gay when you were a young teen, early teen, late tween, whatever, what was the turning point that made you feel okay being gay?
When I went to college, I made this decision. I was like, look, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be out, and if people like me for that, then great. And if they don't, then so what? And I started to actually build a group of friends that accepted me for who I was. And like, to us, it's not really a shocking thing, but when you're an 18-year-old gay boy, like, it's amazing to have that support. So I think that was the moment. So I mean, it was, and I still struggle. There's still moments where I think we all have that, where we're still like these kind of like repressed, internalized homophobic moments.
Sure.
Where like someone calls, like, "Oh, you look really masculine in that picture." And you're like, "Oh, thanks."
Right.
And then you're like, "Well,
right. What's the problem?" Let's talk about that. I mean, on Grindr, Masc for Masc, and even in my profile it says we get it. You're masculine. It's like I don't get these men who are just like, A, you're probably not as masculine as you think.
Right.
B,
you don't look so masculine with my dick in your mouth.
I just don't get it because it's like gay people just love to shame each other, like like implying that being masculine is better than being feminine.
It's become a currency.
It's ridiculous to me, especially the older I get. I'm just like, oh, it's so unattractive to be I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I like Masc for mascara. or mask and cheese.
Right. Well, I'm like totes masked, right? Because I'm totes masked, like totally masked.
Yeah. My boyfriend though, so he's 20. He's younger than I am, obviously, and he's in a different generation, and I don't think that they have the baggage that maybe we have.
I agree.
He paints his nails.
I was gonna say they wear nail polish, like Joey Graceffa, all these. They don't give a thought about any of the things. They don't care. They can wear the tightest pants with the tightest holes. They can wear like women's blouses out. They are very gender fluid. Many are sexual identity fluid. Sexual orientation fluid, and it's just, or even both sexual identity fluid. They don't like labels. They don't like assigning themselves. They are not worried about what people think. They are just 100% themselves, and I admire that. And I hope as we get older that rubs off on us in a way, because that we're less judgmental about ourselves. Yeah. You know.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of therapists without jobs.
I think so, because these kids are just so okay with themselves. But
bless them.
What gets you out of bed in the morning? What's your biggest passion and driving force right now?
You know, I feel like as a cisgender white gay man, right, that like my story has largely been told either through my YouTube channel or other people that have had similar experiences. But when we go to these things like Playlist or VidCon, and we see a lot of the other creators that are coming up, they don't look like us.
No.
They have different experiences. And for me, what's really interesting is using my platform to share some of their stories. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm kind of like at that point where I'm like, all right, I've said a lot of what I want to say. Like, how can I spotlight some of these other stories? And that's so much more interesting than like what my experience has been. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the shift that I've made, and it feels good. And sometimes I step behind camera. Yeah. And that's nice too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the one where you have the sex toy on, and you're supposed to send me one of those.
Oh, the auto blow.
The auto blow.
Yeah, use discount code DAVEY or something like that.
Thank you for joining me. I love you so much. Check out Davey Wavy. He is one of the most wonderful, kindest, lovely people, and
getting me hard.
Well, again, but you make wonderful videos, and you're a wonderful person, and it's a pleasure to be your friend.
Thank you.
Mwah. All right, love you.